one in Arizona, one in California, that today the Democrats are already picking up. Then if you look at what we have out there in open seats, huge opportunities for us all over the country, in Tennessee. You look in Maryland, huge opportunity for us. And then we have, obviously, incumbents in trouble. In Maryland, we have 3 Republican incumbents in trouble in Iowa. So right now we're doing great, all because of the kitchen table issues that the Democrats are out there fighting on the issues that matter.
Pretty optimistic assessment in a year when many astute political analysts say it's difficult to ascertain whether one party is ahead or one party isn't. But, I mean, if history is any guide, Governor Roscoe, the White House should lose some seats. Make the case that they don't, and counter Mr. McAuliffe's rosy expectations.
The kitchen table issues that are described by the chairman, I think, are relevant and important. But the Democratic Senate has done virtually nothing to address those issues. If they don't like the prescription drug benefit that has been passed by the House of Representatives, it would seem to me logical for them to propose an alternative to it. If they don't like the energy bill that's passed, if they don't like pension reform, if they don't like the budget, it would seem to me that as a part of this process that they would propose an alternative. They've done virtually nothing. So the allegation that somehow they're making progress with the agenda of the American people amounts to nothing more than drivel, in my judgment.
Make the case here in terms of numbers, though, that you retain control of the House and you regain control of the Senate.
I would realistically tell you that we do swim against the tide of history, obviously, when we hold on to the House of Representatives or we regain a seat in the United States Senate and maintain a majority within the governors. But we feel this is a historic opportunity for us to be able to do that. Now, I don't make the kinds of extravagant promises that Mr. McAuliffe does, but I think that we are inspired sincerely every day to believe that we can do those things. But we know that it's very, very close. These are going to be driven by local issues, we think, around the country. And as a consequence of that, we have a lot of hard work to do to make certain that the American people vest their confidence in us.
On prescription drug benefits, I don't know where the chairman was for the last several months. He must obviously not been paying attention to what's going on in Washington. 2 pieces of legislation. One, that would close the loopholes to allow seniors to go get generic drugs across this country, that would shut the loophole down, that the pharmaceutical companies won't allow them to buy generics, would save seniors $60 billion. That has passed the Senate. Let's get it through the House. Also, we had a bill, the Graham-Miller-Kennedy bill, which got 52 votes in the Senate before they adjourned for the summer recess. 52 votes. If the President of the United States wants a prescription drug benefit, he should come back from Crawford, Texas, and work with the Democrats. We got 52 votes. We can get this. It is a much better bill. It covers 39 million of our seniors across this country who are looking for a good prescription drug benefit. 52, we can get to 60. We need 60. And on the budget, we could pass a budget. We need 60 votes for a budget. Either you give us 9 more United States senators, or the President of the United States needs to come back from Crawford, work with the Democrats, and we can have a budget.
Let's take a look quickly at the way that this campaign is going. It seems to be, to some degree, a battle between George Bush, and this is the way the Republicans are laying it out, a battle between George Bush and Bill Clinton. You're saying that the corporate corruption that we experienced this year was a result of the binge of the 90s during the Clinton administration. You're reminding voters that the recession began in 2000. There was even a suggestion some time back from the president's spokesman that President Clinton was responsible for the current round of violence in the Mideast. Why do you think that's going to work, comparing President Bush against President Clinton?
I don't think that's the dominant theme, John. I know that there have been some suggestions offered from some quarters in sporadic fashion about where the responsibility lies. I think that the response has been to those who allege that somehow that this administration is exclusively and solely responsible for the circumstances that prevail in terms of corporate America, with, in very minor fashion, with an incredibly insignificant number of people in comparison to the whole number who are involved in serving on boards and in corporations, having abused their discretion. We've said all along that the markets that exploded during the 90s are naturally going to go through a business cycle. We've said all along, the president has, that there were abuses that occurred. They had to be addressed. He aggressively addressed them first, not only through the directives that he gave in his own administration, but by advancing legislation through Congress. So I don't believe that there's been any effort, other than to explain circumstances, by the Republicans to try and somehow blame a ghost of the past for whatever it is that happens to prevail today.
I know that Terry is just itching to come back on that, but we've only got a couple of minutes left, so if I could just move on to another topic. The Congressional Budget Office came out with new projections that we're going to stay in deficit spending until 2006, and the only way we'll get substantially back in the black is if the president's tax cut is allowed to expire after the year 2010, which is its last year as written. Is now the time for the president to be proposing new tax cuts, particularly ones that seem to benefit wealthy investors more than they do middle and lower income Americans?
We're for tax cuts that are targeted to the middle class, that will actually get people out to work again if you can give employers an incentive to go hire employees. And for people who lost a lot of their 401ks and have seen their stock market portfolio just shattered, you know, if we can do some type of incentive for those individuals, then the Democrats would all be for it. We were against the president's, many of us were against the president's tax cut last year, $2 trillion, because it went primarily to the wealthy of this country. And I've said this consistently, John, it was based on faulty economic projections. The president said we could have the tax cut, we could balance the budget, we could have a prescription drug benefit, and we wouldn't have to touch Social Security.
So what about,
all counts.
So why is it, and I asked you this before, why no hue and cry to roll back the current tax cut?
I think the main political reason is the President of the United States said, over my dead body. He made that statement when this was discussed months ago. So why did the Democrats want to get into the debate when the president said he would veto it over his dead body? As soon as the elections are over, Democrats, Republicans, let's all come together, sit down at a table, not this photo op thing they had down in Waco, Texas.
But let's not do it before the election, right?
I don't think we'll be able to do it with the political environment the way it is, John. I don't think we can do that. But after, let's all get together. Prescription drugs, let's get the economy moving again.
Well, this is going to be one interesting political year. The race is so close and the playing field so level. Gentlemen, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Governor Roscoe, Terry McAuliffe, appreciate it. We'll be back in just a moment with Tom Friedman from the New York Times. Stay with us.
This portion of Face the Nation is brought to you by Ambien. Get back into the rhythm of life. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. And by Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular.
There is a rhythm to life. We sleep at night and wake in the morning. It's this sleep cycle that helps keep us in a healthy balance. But for millions of Americans, sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. While natural sleep is best, Ambien helps you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and wake rested and refreshed, not groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full 7 to 8 hours to sleep and wake rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
3, 2, 1. Jerry, loving the supply chain proposal. Regards, Skip. That quick? No more waiting for email.
Travel plans are confirmed. Have a good one.
With PCS Vision from Sprint, your colleagues can access information they get on their office PC, right on their phone, instantly. Calendars, contacts, even inventory. So I'll always be in touch. You can put money on it.
Introducing PCS Vision from Sprint. See the power behind the PCS Clear Wireless Workplace.
Welcome back. With us now is Tom Friedman, the foreign affairs columnist of the New York Times. He's also got a new book out called Longitudes and Attitudes, exploring the world after September 11th. Tom, good morning to you.
Good to be here.
So you've heard all the talk, the saber rattling about Iraq. Most notably, the vice president came out earlier in the week and suggested that time is running short and that perhaps an inspection regime is not going to be everything that the world needs it to be. Let's take a quick look at that speech before the VFW of what the vice president said.
Some concede that Saddam is evil, power-hungry, and a menace, but that until he crosses the threshold of actually possessing nuclear weapons, we should rule out any preemptive action. That logic seems to me to be deeply flawed.
That seems to be a pretty pointed commentary toward people like Brent Scowcroft and James Baker who have said, don't do it now, you'll blow up the coalition against terrorism, seek a UN resolution first. Then at the same time, in an interview with the BBC today, Colin Powell says inspections need to be our first priority. There's a lot of confusion.
Well, there's been a lot of confusion since the beginning of this debate, John. What I really focus on is one issue. I think that there is a broad consensus that Cheney's right, that Saddam is a bad man. He's in violation of the UN inspection regime, and he's mixing things in his bathtub that can only be bad for a lot of people around the world. The question is really, how do you get at it? And here I pay attention to three people. I pay attention to Powell, I pay attention to Tony Blair, and I pay attention to John McCain. I think they're the loyal opposition. They're the only opposition that President Bush cares about. He couldn't care less what the Democrats say. I think he cares about those three people. And if you listen to what those three people are saying, they're saying, yes, we agree with you on Saddam as a threat, but we need three things before you go to war with this guy. One, we need congressional support. I think that's very important to know that the American people are behind this. Two, we need evidence of weapons of mass destruction. We don't need much, okay? But a few photos and a few lab samples would really go a long way here. And thirdly, we need a casus belli. We need you to go to the UN, okay, and simply say very simply to Saddam, look, buddy, okay, unlimited inspections, anytime, anywhere, any day, starting tomorrow, yes or no, up or down. If it's no, we're coming. But we need to kind of set that up. To go to war against Iraq, to break up another country from a standing start, without those three things, I think the administration would have a problem with. And my gut feeling is the president understands that. And if you look at the reports coming out, you can see them sort of inching toward that kind of approach.
Now, the president has been quite clear saying he wants regime change in Iraq. Can he step back from that? Can he say, okay, let's do inspections and not lose face, as Richard Pearl from the Defense Policy Council has suggested he would?
Well, I believe if it just ended with inspections, then the president would have a problem. But I think everyone believes that the minute we say to Saddam, look, fella, this is very simple. Inspections, free and unfettered, and surprise, okay, or we're coming in, he's going to say, sorry, I'm not going to go with it. And I think once he does that,
But Cheney has said even that won't work. You'll never find it all.
Well, I don't think that we really have to worry about that, because I think that it's true, you would never find it all, but at the same time, I don't think Saddam's going to agree to any of it. But I think if we step back, John, I think that the president does have more flexibility here than some of the people pushing him from the right, like Richard Pearl and others would suggest. I felt from the very beginning that this Iraq issue was an elite issue. That is, I found in my own travels around this country, not a lot of people coming up to me and saying, you know, geez, if the president doesn't invade Iraq tomorrow or next day or next week, if he doesn't fulfill this, commitment, I'm not voting for him. I don't think this is a mass issue. I think the people will go along with it if they're convinced that the world and the public are with us and that there's a real casus belli. But I don't think they're driving it.
Last week, Dick Cheney quoted CBS News analyst Fawad Ajami, who said, if we liberate Iraq, people will be celebrating in the streets of Baghdad the same way they did in Kabul after we liberated Afghanistan. But in your column in the New York Times today, you say, well, that's fine the morning after, but what about the morning after the morning after? What then?
Yeah, I have no doubt that Fuad's exactly right, that we would be welcomed in Baghdad and around Iraq, number one, and I think that the operation would go relatively quickly. These regimes always look strong until they crack, and then when they crack very quickly.
But what about this idea of nation building?
The problem is when they crack, and the pieces you're left with on the ground. And what is the raw material you're going to be building with? This country, Iraq, let's remember, has a lot more in common, say, with Yugoslavia than it does with Egypt. Okay, it's not a homogeneous population, say, like in Egypt is. It's a country divided between Kurds in the north, it's a Shiites in the south, and Sunnis in the center. It's a country that has a Shiite majority, like Iran, but with a Sunni minority that has traditionally ruled the place. It's a country with a long history of ethnic division. It's not a country where we have the raw material to work with to turn it into a democracy tomorrow. That's not an argument against doing it, John. It's an argument for being prepared for a long haul.
Tom, we've got about a minute left. Because your area of expertise is the Middle East here, so many Arab leaders, including Hosni Mubarak, are saying, you go into Iraq before you solve the Palestinian question, the Mideast is going to go up in flames like a tinderbox. Is there a way to do it without the Mideast blowing up?
Yeah, I don't think these Arab leaders would be with us with the Arab-Israeli conflict settled or without the Arab-Israeli conflict settled. These are deeply illegitimate regimes. I think they're afraid of their people. The only thing that brought them to our side back in the first Gulf War was that Saddam had a gun to their head. And had Saddam not had that gun to their head, they wouldn't have been any more comfortable being with us then. So I really don't buy that argument. But does solving or making progress on the Arab-Israeli conflict, would that enhance our ability to operate out there? Absolutely. But it wouldn't be decisive.
Well, we'll learn more about what the president may have in store when he addresses the United Nations General Assembly on September 12th. Tom Friedman, thanks very much.
Pleasure.
We'll be back in just a moment with a final word.
Collegiate life provides a scholar with a plethora of choices. Take getting to class. Should one skate? Excuse me. Bike? Bus? Or, thanks to Dell, you could drive this, ladies. All through September, Dell's giving away new BMWs in the BMW a Day giveaway. Yep, Dell helps you get the right PC for you and the chance to get to class with class.
Call or go online now, and you can win a BMW in Dell's BMW a Day giveaway when you order America's favorite PC, like this Dimension desktop for just $6.99, featuring an Intel Pentium 4 processor with awesome performance for music, digital photos, gaming, and beyond. And for a limited time, you can get a free memory upgrade.
You must have gotten a Dell.
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
There's still a place where hard work is rewarded, where the American dream is alive 24 hours a day. A place right around the corner and all around the world. A place called 7-Eleven.
Wonder what's going on in your local public schools? Take a look.
Teachers, parents, and support professionals are working together to make learning come alive. Teachers inspire our kids to reach new heights, whether it's helping students master the alphabet or explore new worlds on the computer. Our teachers are leading the way, working for smaller classes and salaries to attract and keep quality teachers. The National Education Association, making public schools great for every child.
A town divided by football. The voters said no to funding a team, but some raised the money anyway. So what about that vote? Eye on America, Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
And that's our broadcast. Bob Schieffer will be back again next week with a special one-hour edition of Face the Nation on the war on terrorism and the events of September the 11th, 1 year later. The guests will include Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld and Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton. Thanks for watching Face the Nation. I'm John Roberts. Have a good Sunday.
Okay, folks, let's get this party started. Call Seattle. Get McGregor on the phone.
Calling him now.
Morning. Morning.
Sir.
This is Scott McGregor. I'll be out of the office all day. Please leave a message.
That's not like McGregor.
McGregor's not there?
Great.
Excuse me, there's a Mr. McGregor here to see you.
With Southwest Airlines last-minute fares, you'll never pay more than $2.99 one way. So why would you fly with anyone else?
You are now free to move about the country.
For eons, it was an oasis in the prairie. 7,000 acres of R&R for migratory ducks and geese. It dried up a century ago. But now it's back, abundant with waterfowl that darken the sky and fill the wind with chatter. The wetlands are wet again, with distant water delivered by pipeline, supplied free by Williams. Energy is our business, but the environment is everyone's business.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a heart attack. Then I heard about Plavix, so I asked my doctor. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
This portion of Face the Nation was sponsored by Plavix. This broadcast was produced by CBS News, which is solely responsible for the selection of today's guests and topics. It originated in Washington, D.C.
week, want a smaller waistline? We'll show you how to avoid exercises that may not work. Plus, country music sensation the Dixie Chicks. Wake up to what's happening on The Early Show.
Princess Diana trusted one man with her true story. The biographer world premieres CBS tonight.
Introducing Life Moment.
And he favors imposing new taxes on Oregon families. Kolengowski's plan means more Oregonians looking for work. He wants to be our governor. Oregon's economy can't afford more tax and spend politics.